In this video, we will be assembling the Brinly One Point Hitch Lift for 2-inch receivers on ATVs and UTVs. The Brinly One Point Lift connects Brinly ground engaging products to your UTV or ATV. The One Point Lift features a 2-inch connection and adjustable height and angle of operation. Note, page 6 of your manual is a hardware identifier. The illustrations on that page are to scale for faster identification of hardware during assembly. Tools required: 2 1/2-inch wrench and sockets, 2 3/4-inch wrench and sockets, and 2 15/16-inch wrench and sockets or adjustable wrenches. Gloves and safety glasses are also recommended. Step 1. Setting the hitch adjustment. First, measure from the center of your hitch receiver to the ground. For heights 8 to 12 inches, align the front hitch weldment at the base of the hitch adjustment column using the bottom 3 holes. For hitch heights 12 to 15 inches from the ground, align the front hitch weldment more towards the middle of the hitch adjustment column. We will be assembling for a hitch at 10 inches high. Insert the front hitch weldment into the hitch adjustment column, and after determining the correct height, pass one 5/8" by 3.5" hex bolt through the hitch adjustment column frame and the front hitch weldment, securing on the other side using a 5/8" lock nut. Add a second 5/8" bolt 2 holes away and also secure this bolt in place with a 5/8" lock nut. Use a 15/16" wrench and an adjustable wrench to fully secure in place. Step 2A. Adding the upper pivot arms. The upper pivot arms have the decals and 3 openings. Add a 5/8" flat washer to a 5/8" by 4 1/2" bolt. Pass the bolt through the back hole in the upper pivot arm, then add another 5/8" flat washer. Continue running the bolt through the front hitch weldment, add another washer, the other upper pivot arm through the back hole, add a 4th washer, and secure the bolt in place using a 5/8" lock nut. Use a 15/16" wrench and an adjustable wrench to loosely secure in place. Step 2B. Adding the lower pivot arms. Add a 5/8" flat washer to a 4 1/2" bolt and run the bolt through the lower pivot arm, add another washer, then run it through the hitch adjustment column, add a 3rd washer, pass it through the second lower pivot arm, add the 4th washer, and secure in place using a 5/8" lock nut. Using 2 15/16" socket wrenches or adjustable wrenches to fully secure the bolts in place. Step 3A. Adding the rear hitch weldment. Slide the rear hitch weldment into place, aligning the top hole in the weldment with the middle hole in the pivot arms. Add a 5/8" flat washer to the end of a 4 1/2" bolt and pass the bolt through the center hole of the first pivot arm. Add another washer to the end of the bolt, then slide the bolt through the rear hitch weldment, add a 3rd washer and pass the bolt through the second pivot arm, adding a 4th washer and securing in place with a 5/8" lock nut. Step 3B. Adding the rear hitch weldment. By lining up the holes in the lower pivot arms with the lower hole in the rear hitch weldment, adding a 5/8" flat washer to a 4 1/2" bolt, running the bolt through the pivot arm and adding another washer before passing it through the rear hitch weldment, adding a 3rd washer, and finally passing the bolt through the second pivot arm, adding a final washer, and securing in place with a 5/8" lock nut. Using 2 15/16" socket wrenches or adjustable wrenches to fully secure the bolts in place. Step 4. The height adjustment brace. Add the height adjustment brace to the height adjustment rod by threading the brace about halfway down the height adjustment rod. If needed, you can use a screwdriver for more leverage on the adjustment brace. Step 5A. Adding the height adjustment. Align the hole in the height adjustment brace up with the 3rd hole in the upper pivot arms and slide a 4" by 1/2" bolt through the upper pivot arm, the height adjustment brace, through the second upper pivot arm, then add a 1/2" flat washer and a 1/2" nylon lock nut. Step 5B. Run a 1/2" by 3 1/4" bolt through the rear hitch weldment tab, the height adjustment assembly base, and the second rear hitch weldment tab, adding a 1/2" flat washer and a 1/2" nylon lock nut. Tighten the 2 bolts in place using 2 3/4" wrench and sockets. Step 6. Adding the handle. Slide the handle over the top of the height adjustment rod, making sure to align the holes in the extension up with the holes in the end of the height adjustment rod. Then slide the 5/16 inch clevis pin through both holes and secure the pin in place using the small hairpin cotter. Step 7A. Adding the grip. First, slide the handle inner tube onto the end of the handle assembly. Then add an oversized 5/16 inch flat washer onto the end of a 5/16 inch by 5 inch hex bolt and slide this bolt down the top of the handle assembly. Add a 5/16 inch flat washer and a 5/16 inch nylon lock nut and secure in place with 2 1/2 inch wrench and sockets. Step 7B. Add the rubber handle grip over the handle assembly as shown. At this stage, the hardware from steps 2 and 3 can be tightened. Use extreme caution with the pinch points while tightening these bolts. Do not tighten the bolts fully, allow some movement with the turning of the handle. Step 8A. Adding the hitch bolts. At the base of the rear hitch weldment, thread the 2 1/2 inch by 2 inch hex head bolts through the 2 holes at the base of the rear hitch weldment. After attaching your piece, using a 3/4 inch wrench, to fully stabilize the ground engager onto the hitch before operation. Step 8B. Adding the stabilizer plate. Place the stabilizer plate on the base of the rear hitch weldment and run the hitch pin from above through the hole in the stabilizer plate and the rear hitch weldment. Secure the hitch pin in place from below with a hairpin cotter. Step 8C. On the other end of the hitch assembly, use the second hole at the end of the front hitch weldment and run the second hitch pin through this opening and secure with the hairpin cotter. Step 8D. Adding the end caps. Insert the 3 plastic end caps provided into the 3 open square holes. Use caution putting the caps in place. You may need to use a hammer or mallet to gently tap the caps in place. The parts store at Brinly.com now offers an impact wrench attachment that easily fits over the height adjustment thread for quicker raising and lowering of attachments using an impact wrench. Part number KBH OPL-H in the Brinly Parts Store. Use ratchet straps to secure the hitch to the bed or cage of the vehicle. The straps can be slightly loosened once the attachment is engaged with the ground. We recommend a strap with a workload limit of 500 pounds and a brake strength of 1,500 pounds. For questions, call Brinly Customer Service at 877-728-8224. Brinly, making things better since 1839.